Hello, welcome back to the Kitchen Talk podcast, episode 10. Huge day for the podcast. You might, for the keen observers amongst the viewers, you might notice that we now have a new laptop. This is a beautiful new black laptop. This is opening up a plethora of opportunities for the podcast now. And the reason to say that is we've got 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's random access memory for those of you who didn't do ICT GCSE. Uh, and it means now we've shout out to Jason Hyman, by the way, for letting me know how I can stream straight from the phone to the laptop with no delays, no hesitation. I know last week the podcast with Adam Byrne wasn't great because I had not synced up the first or the second part of the podcast. First part, I did a fucking smashing job with, by the way, syncing it up. The second part, not so much. And that's just on me. But now that's because what I was doing was I was recording it on my phone and the audio separately and then trying to sync it up on fucking editing software. I don't know what I'm doing with things like that. So we've now got you can't see it. It's a bit of behind the scenes for you. So I've got a lightning cable fucking tucked into my iPhone and the podcast on. Don't know what I'm trying to explain here. And then we've got a plug-in app on the phone, a plug-in on the computer. I'm paying $10.99 a month for this fucking app on my phone, so there's no watermark. And I've done a few test runs. We should be able to see and listen to me synced up perfectly now. Also with the new laptop, as I say, we're rocking 16 gigabytes of RAM. So I'll just let you see for yourselves here what we can do now. I remember I tried this out before, because my laptop before was an absolute piece of shit. It wouldn't work. Bang, we've got Google. Do you know what else we can do with Google? We can Google things. What we'll Google? We'll Google Kitchen Talk podcast, right? Excuse my typing. This won't be much crack watching me type. Okay, that's just not me at all there. Yeah, but you get the picture anyway, so um that should work. You should be able to see. I don't have anything planned to show you today. Who knows? We might actually Google a few things while we're on the podcast. A bit of a interactive experience for me and the viewer. But yeah, very exciting. As I say, it's episode number 10. Who'd have thought? Fucking 10 weeks. 10 weeks of podcasting. Probably 11 weeks. I think I missed a week being out on the drink. Maybe 2 weeks potentially. Um, there was a podcast recorded, obviously, with Kieran Franco that I fucked up the audio with. That didn't see the light of day, and then there was the week I didn't do it. So yeah, 10 weeks should be 12 weeks, but I hope you don't hold me accountable for it. All 37 of you who watch it. Shout out Tom Rainey, by the way, a fan of the pod, fan of the comedy. Bumped into him and a couple of new fans last night. So if you're watching this, Tom, have a good one, mate. You finally got your shout out. Uh, what's the crack? What have I been up to? I do have a number of topics to talk about today. I've got them on the notepad up on my new laptop here. I suppose I'll just tell you is what the also beer reviews back. So I've got word that there's one or two people that don't like beer review. Fuck you. There's beers to be drank. So we will be continuing with the beer reviews. Uh, yeah. What am I talking about? I'm all fucking hyped up because of this new laptop. I'm excited. I noticed that I could use Google on this now, and I'm just fucking ready to show things on the internet to people. What have we done? I was doing MC at Madden's on Tuesday night. Uh, there was a lot of comedians down there. I'm sorry if I can't remember your names. Kieran was there, Daniel Houston was there, Alan Byrne was there, Owen Sloan was there. Who else did we had? We had Sam McVeigh, Kit Greer, Terry McCartan, some other. I'm trying to remember their names. I'm so sorry if I can't remember their names. Didn't look like the gig was going to go ahead because no one had turned up for it, and then two people had turned up, and Kieran made the executive decision of just fucking going for it, and it turned out to be good crack. The one of the guys who came in, God love him, very disabled, had some sort of stroller device that he used. He came in with his mate. His mate was also his PT. I say I was MC and I've never really MC'd properly before. I did it in the Duns once. So I was a bit out of my depth and I didn't really know how to approach I suppose you would call it the elephant in the room. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he was disabled, but he was up for a good crack. It was a good laugh. There ended up being so another guy walked in, and I asked Kieran, I was like, "Is that one of the comedians?" Because one of them didn't turn up. It wasn't. It was just some guy came by himself. Oh, there we go. My laptop's making noises. We'll just fucking do that. That didn't. That did do something. So I ended up speaking to him while I was doing the MC duties, and it turned out he was French. Pierre could not write it. This was the most French looking guy you'll ever see in your life. He was long hair, like the fucking thin, like see through glasses. Um, just he just looked so French, and like he had the most. I don't know if French people actually speak like this. He almost sounded like someone doing an impression of a French person. I could not understand what you were saying, and I like that is genuinely how he sounded. Um, I made a joke about how oh, the joke was, and I don't think anyone got it, and it's fine. So we'll just reflect on it here on the podcast. The joke was, I says to him, "Look, we do GCSEs. I did French GCSE, and I actually remembered some of my French GCSE, and I took a pause, coughed, did all that shit, made it look like I was going to recite some French, and what I did was I basically just spoke in English with a French accent, but was like the sentences you use in your French like oral exam, and it was like, on the weekend, I go to the cinema. I like to play the football. Did not get a single laugh. I thought it was really funny. Let me know in the comments if you thought it was funny. If it's not, who cares? It's not a joke that I was planning on putting into my sets anyway. Um, Also, big black guy comes into the room. Now, you're going to be like, oh, you can't be saying that. This was the biggest, blackest guy I've ever seen in my life. Real nice guy. When I was asking, did anyone else in the room speak French? He sat at the very back and was like, un petit, I don't want to say un petit pois because that's fucking peas, but he said basically a little bit of French, and I was like, fucking right. There's another guy in the crowd who's also a comedian. I says, fuck it, do you want to do another 5 minutes? It was the Bandit Country in Madden's on Tuesday. I says, do you want to do 5 minutes? He says, nah, I'm all right. Black guy, yeah, can I do some? I goes, fuck it, why not? He came up. He's obviously a comedian, which, it threw me off guard. I've never seen him before. I didn't, before I dig myself a hole here, okay, we'll just move on from that. But he was a very good comedian. He, he was from Kenya, he says, and he was doing impressions of a Nigerian person in Belfast for the first time. And it was very, very funny. It was a pleasant surprise because you just don't know who's in the audience. I thought it was just some guy in to see the comedy, and he ended up being a comedian himself. So nice surprise. Shout out to that guy. Can't remember his name. He told us to call him Seamus because I couldn't work out how to pronounce his name. Um, but yeah, that was good crack on Tuesday. What else have I been on? I was out on a bit of a date last night. Uh, Went to a well known, I was going to say infamous, well known bar in East Belfast, and it's a bit woke. And I am going to talk about it more in depth in the podcast later on, because you'll see what I'm talking about. But it was good crack. It was good crack. I don't know. So I am a bit hungover, unfortunately. That's what I was going to do. Leads me into my next section, so forgive me because I am slightly hungover. Uh, so this might not be a fair test of this beer this week, but however, it is in fact a lager this week. This tin here is Bevog Brauhaus Hell's Export Special Bevog Artisan Lager Bad Radgersburg. It's a half a liter. Obviously, it's a big tin, big boy. 4.6%. Very nice tin this week. And here, anyone who knows the podcast and has watched every beer review will know that I am not a fan of stickers over the tins. Very happy to announce that this beautiful lager, not a sticker. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing to it here. There's no sticker on it. That's the actual tin itself printed on. Already 10 out of 10 for that. The design of it itself, I am actually quite a fan of it. It's I don't want to say, I nearly caught myself saying it's given there. What the fuck's wrong with me? It's that fucking bar rubbing off on me. That's what it is. That bar rubbing off on me. Pause the fucking program. No, did he? What the fuck was that? Uh, yeah. Well, I've lost track talking about bars rubbing on me. Uh, yeah, it's like the patterns of like a court jester from medieval times. As soon as I saw it, it reminded me of the PlayStation game I played earlier this year, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I know I was talking about this a couple of episodes ago. Sorry, but it gives me the sort of impression that's the sort of Bavarian, old medieval European fucking Prague, like King Wenceslas, all that kind of shit. That's the vibe I'm getting from this here. Suppose we could look up where Bavog House is on our brand new Google Chrome uh, toolbar search engine. Fuck knows. We'll just type it in here. Now, what I will say is I was drinking lagers in this IPA bar last night. Oh, here we go. We'll get the maps up. I was drinking a lager in this IPA bar last night. Two different lagers actually. I think it's their own brew one. It was all right, just standard lager. All and then I don't even know if this other one was a lager, but haven't stopped talking about to people about this beer for about 2 weeks now. The lemon Erdinger that they're rocking with in there, it's only 2.6%, so it's more like a driving beer than anything. You could have 10 of those and drive your way home, but it's just so lovely and refreshing, especially in the summer. And I don't know if it's like I'm changing or something, but it's just sort of, I don't know, it just really, really struck me. I was like, this is such a nice, refreshing taste. And I don't usually like, you know, Fanta Lemon, for example. Not a fan of Fanta Lemon. Uh, but this is just, and I don't like, what do you call it? Lemon hooch. Gives me heartburn. This here, as I say, you could drink 40 of them and you'd be grand. Close this down. I don't give a fuck about that. Yeah, there's my home address there. How did I get rid of that? Fuck it. We'll just close that down for now. I will hold on. Do you know what we'll do? I will sort this out. We don't need to know anyone knowing where I live. I did see Bad Rackersburg or something. Bad Radkersburg. That's what it is. Radkersburg. I'm really running a risk with this because I don't clear my search history. God knows what's going to come up in my Google Chrome. Uh, that's the wee town where this has come from. It's good to know sort of where we're drinking from. What is this? As you can see, I think hopefully, uh, you can't. I've closed it down. What have I done that for? Oh wait, I know what I've done. I see the issue now. Hold on, bear with me. As I say, folks, we're just trying to fucking work these things out. There we go. Bad Radkersburg. It's a town in Austria, and we all know how good the things that come out of Austria are. Schnitzels, Counter Strike maybe comes out of Austria. I don't know. I think there was a young artist who was there. I can't remember the name of him is really really escaping me. He didn't really have a long art career, but he ended up going into politics. Uh, Real influential guy, spoke really well, had some less than tasteful ideas, but you know, I can't remember the name of him. But if someone remembers his name, let me know. Great artist, great politician. For the life of me, can't remember his name. So yeah, big fan of Austria. That there looks like a camp of some description. Uh, Hopefully that's not where this is brewed. But yes, without further ado, before I end up getting cancelled for being a Nazi, let's get it. Oh, actually, no, we don't need to open it yet. As we all know, I'm a big fan of the description on the beers. Don't think I'm getting one here. I am cold lagered for 7 to 10 weeks, unpasteurized, unfiltered, crisp and balanced. Noble hops, the finest malt, pure water, and carefully selected yeast strain for this true to tradition lager. For demanding beer drinkers, Prost. Prost obviously means cheers in German, I believe. Uh, as always, let's get some ASMR on the can. I hope that was nice on the ears. Yeah, it just smells like a normal lager, to be honest. It's currently 2 in the afternoon, so it's kind of acceptable to be drinking this. No football on, which is unfortunate. Um, I don't know if these are really beers you're meant to drink straight from the teat of the can, or if you're meant to be putting them in a pint glass and enjoying them that way. But I think that's a bit woke, to be honest, to be putting them in glasses. I was actually talking about this last night. I never use a glass in this house. I am very much uh environmentally unfriendly. Give me all the bottles. And like I do have a refillable water bottle. You only see me on the podcast with water bottles because I try to give the illusion that we're a real production team here and someone provides these to me. But uh, apart from that, it would be tins of Coke Zero and things like that. Never big bottles. So if no real use for a glass, just water and plastic and tins. Don't know why I'm even talking about this. Bit of a palate cleanser there from the Perthshire Scottish mountain water before we get tucked into this uh, Bivog Brauhaus Hales Export special from Bad Rackersburg in Austria. 4.6% standard for a lager, I believe. There's also, what's this other shit on the back? It's just fucking addresses and shit like that. If not for pregnant women, obviously, which is pretty bog standard, I believe. How do I rate these beers? I can't remember. I like the name. You know, it's pretty fucking German, apart from being Austrian. But let's face it, Austria basically is Germany. Um, I don't know the difference in them. There is a wee guy. There's a wee goblin at the bottom, and it actually reminded me. Don't know if anyone else remembers this. I saw it on Twitter recently, and it's been stuck in my head. Does anyone ever remember the cider Hobgoblin? And it was the advert for it was like a wee goblin in like a tavern, and it was like, "What's the matter, lager boy? Afraid you might taste something?" And it was like the goblin holding up a cider. Fucking exceptional marketing. That's amazing. I'm still thinking about it. Probably about 15 years later. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can still get. Here, you know what we'll do? We'll Google it. This beer's gonna go fucking stale in a second. Uh, Hob. I don't know if it was all one word. Hobgoblin cider. God knows what came up in my search history there. I got a glimpse of how to lose weight fast. I don't think I looked that up, hopefully. Thatcher's Green Goblin. Is that it's Thatcher's? Is that what it is? Hobgoblin beer. What I can do, I'll actually show you the advert. What's the matter? Lager boy. See, it's right there. Yeah. Okay, why is it not coming up fully? See, that there, does anyone remember that? It looks like it was made in the fucking 70s now. Just 3 weeks after the wedding, the Hobgoblin was born. I can't read that. The writing's too small and shit. Um, yeah. What's the matter, Coca Cola boy? Afraid you might taste something. I quite like that meme because I am a big fan of Dr Pepper. I think it's a criminally underrated drink that people don't appreciate enough. Uh, Enough about the fucking Hobgoblin and the Dr Pepper. We're just trying to get the time up, to be honest. Let's get tucked into the Bivog Brauhaus Hell's Export Special. Bivog Artisan Lager, Bad Rackersburg Lager. I've just read everything on the tin. Cheers. Fucking great beer. Just a bog standard beer, really. Just a fucking good Christian lager. There's literally no fault with that. I could drink 10 to 12 of those, be sick all over myself, and have a fucking good time. You know, that is absolutely just bog standard. And that's the bar that we've set on this podcast because the beers we've rated, not for me. They're not for me at all. I have consulted. Have I talked about that? I probably have. I've got fucking short term memory with this podcast. Uh, you know, so we won't be getting any more beers. But I tell you what, I would get another one of these, no problem. If they started selling this somewhere and there was no, beers that I knew apart from like IPAs, and there was this, I'd happily go for this, no problem. I had it in the fridge and I have brushed my teeth just before the podcast, so probably wasn't a wise idea, but uh, it was sitting in the fridge for a couple of hours this morning. Pretty, it's great beer to be honest. Tastes like a normal lager. There's no hidden surprises. It's just what it says on the tin. It doesn't taste like a normal German beer now. I have had, uh, there's a bar in Liverpool. Shout out to Patrick for bringing me to a bar near him. And they did like a lot of German beers, and I can't remember what the one was called, but it was like there was Paulaner Munich. That was one of them, I think. Uh, Flergburger or something. I don't know what it was, but it was a lovely beer. But the German beers do tend to have, even the lagers, a bit of a stronger taste, and I don't mind it. I don't mind them. It's not as I wouldn't say it's as strong as those, but it is pretty fucking tasty. I will. This is probably the world record for, well, not world record, podcast record for most sips I've taken one of the beers on the podcast so far. It's absolutely bang average in the best way possible, though. I don't know if I'm going to drink the whole thing now because it's a big tall boy. I maybe I can't put it in the fridge and drink it later on. We'll see what happens with it. As I say, I've paid for these beers. I'll do what I want with them. I don't want to see anyone in the comments being, "Oh, you're wasting beer. You're fucking." There's people on the streets that are going hungry and thirsty, and you're sitting there fucking pouring beer down the drain. Fuck them. I've paid for them. Um. So yeah. Didn't rate anything on that beer. Didn't give any numbers. The design 10 out of 10. Taste, compared to the other beers, it's getting it's a bit soon to be going for a 9.5 out of 10, or be going for a 10 out of 10, because there might be one that catches us off guard. We might have our own. Sorry, I'm burping away here now. That must be good for ASMR. Uh, there might not be, or there may be a beer in those fucking things in my back hall that might be a 10 out of 10, and I don't want to. If they're nicer than that. So for now, it's going to be a 9.5 out of 10 with an asterisk beside it. With if at the end of the season there's no better beers, that is the best beer. And we'll just well done to Bavog Brauhaus Brewery. If you trust my opinion on beers, give them a fucking I don't know, buy one of their beers or something. I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting paid by them. Uh, yeah. Let's get into well, actually, yeah. What did I want to talk about as well before? There's a bit of a ranty podcast today. I think. Um, AVA weekend is this weekend. Currently, it's the Saturday right now. Didn't go yesterday. Not going today. First time since I was 17 of not going to the AVA. So what's that? 9 years or something. Which is unfortunate. It's always a good time. This year, I'm going to Kill Tony next week in London. Very expensive place to be. So I'm trying to take it easy until then. That's why I wasn't able to go this year. But uh, yeah, I was sort of thinking about this earlier on. Uh, I don't care about fucking virus protection unless it's from a cock. Whoa, up top. Uh, like as I said, it's the first year I've not been, and any of the videos I see, thank fucking fuck, I'm not there. I, it's hard to put into words, and I don't want to sound like a hater, but I am gonna be one. See the people who go to AVA, which is the Audiovisual Arts Festival. I don't know if anyone isn't aware of what it is. It's a festival in Belfast every year with techno music, house music, fucking shit like that. People go just for the image of being seen to be going to it, and that bothers me. Like people who don't go to any events during the year, they don't go see DJs or anything like that. They just go just to have it look like they go to things like that. It's like a popularity thing, I think, and it's really that's not what it used to be now, mind you. Like I remember going to my first one in T13, and it was just fucking Wipeout City, to be honest. But it was good crack. And it's just like there's people going who have quite clearly no interest in that kind of music. They don't know any of the acts playing, and I don't know if it's like a is it a thing just because of Belfast, just for like because it's the only real big thing event that we have in the year that's sort of known across, I don't want to say the world, but it's pretty well known. So people think they have to go to be like they have to go to it so everyone knows like, oh, I went to the AVA. It's this big popular European festival, and it is one of the most popular festivals in Europe. People do come from all over to go to it. But I mean, I've been to Dekmantel and Drymolen, both in Holland, and like obviously I'm not a fucking Dutch local, so I don't know what the sort of vibe is amongst the locals there. But like I get the impression that there are not really festivals that people go to just to be seen. The Dry Mullen especially, like it's fucking pretty. I don't know what the word is. It's pretty like out there and maybe a bit artistic for people to be like, oh, I'm going to like make it look like I go there. The people who would do that would be like overly like expressionist, like artist people, which is a different thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like just normal people. Deck Mantle as well. I still don't think it would be one of those things where people go just to be like, oh, I want the Deck Mantle, because again, very expensive as well for that. AVA fucking expensive also, mind you. And I just like you don't know who you're going to see. You've no interest in the tunes. You're just going to fucking take photos. And what really fucking bothered me was there's a makeup brand that's fucking based here, and I'm not gonna mention them. Fuck them. And they've been on my, and I could just block them. I'm fully aware of what, like it's on me to get rid of them. Not get rid of them. What the fuck? I'm not gonna shoot them. Uh, I could just block them and never see their TikToks. But all I've seen is like TikToks of them being like, we're going to AVA. And like, I don't know, you should never judge a book by its cover, obviously, but I know you don't like that music. I know that's not what you're into. You're just there to take fucking Instagram photos and fucking. Oh, here's my. I saw a TikTok as well. It's like, here's my AVA fit, and it was some fucking rare thing of like this girl made herself, and it's like, what the who gives a fuck what you've made? Just go and listen to a few tunes, take a few E's. I don't know, just fucking enjoy yourself. And it's gonna sound like I'm bitter because I didn't go this year, but it's not. I couldn't give a fuck. I'm going to Glitch Festival in Malta in August. You know, I don't need more than one festival a year at this point in my life. I'm a old man now. I'm really struggling to deal with the aftermath. But I thought I would share some of my stories from AVA over the years, as they just come to my head. I can remember the first year I went was when it was down in T13. Um, I say I was 17. It would have been in June, so I would have been coming 18 that August. Shout out Don O'Hare for letting me use his ID. Can't believe that actually worked getting me in. Um, and I remember it used to be where the boiler room was at it, and I think I went the year after I think I went to the second or third year of it. I think it was. I don't know what year it was that Isla, that tune was played at it, and the video went viral at the time. Um, but it used to be you had to sign up to get boiler room tickets. They were free, like, but you had to sign up to get a boiler room ticket to get boiler like entry to the boiler room. And if you didn't get the ticket, you were basically fucked. You had to queue up for hours, where the ticket got you like entry into it early on, so you could just literally stay there the whole day. I remember being there, and I was 17, and I think whenever you're that age, you don't view yourself as like a really young person. But looking back on it, I obviously looked very young and was obviously young. I can remember sitting beside some woman from down south, and she was like, "What yokes are you on?" And I didn't respond, obviously, because I wasn't on any. Sorry, I just made the most disgusting noise known to man there. That's a bit of a jump scare. Trigger warning. And she was showing me these fucking A's she had on her. They were yellow Red Bulls or something. And that was like just the maddest thing ever to me. She was just showing me them out in person. And I didn't know, like, I suppose I didn't know how common it was for people to be on drugs at the time. And it was sort of like an eye opener, but like in a good way. Um, None of my friends were really into things like that at that time, and I went with a couple of them, but I got met a couple of ones like a guy I worked with and his mates at the time. And it was great. I remember fucking these are the days when you could go out and you could just go home at like 11 o'clock and just sleep, and it was all fine. You woke up the next day and you could go for I don't know, you could just go again or something. But and this was I think they only used to do one day of it. And that was the first year I went. I remember going one year. Can't remember if it was in T13 or was there a place S13 at one point. Can't remember. But anyway, the AVA was good. I remember being absolutely fucking out of it. And there was an illegal rave happening afterward in the middle of town, and it was in like I don't want to say the name of it in case they still run events, but it was in like an art studio in the middle of town, like near where my school was. And we went into it, and I was fucking just completely out of it. Think I was going to go to the toilets in it, to be sick. Couldn't hold it in, and just waited right in front of me. Pushed my way through the toilets, sweating fucking profusely. It was in a horrible way. Whiteyed into the urinal because there was only one cubicle and it was like just mayhem. Whiteyed all over the fucking urinal, and then that was it. But one of my friends was there, and he says he was sitting across the room or something and heard some girl going, "The fuck, that cunt's just been sick all over me." I was the cunt who was sick all over. It was some random woman. I just whiteyed all over. And it couldn't have been like it wouldn't have been bad, mind you. It would have just been like water or like anything I've drank. It wasn't. There wouldn't have been chunks or anything like that, which is probably a good thing. And I remember I went home. I didn't go home. Sorry, I went to our mate's house in the Holy Lands. Fell asleep there and woke up and was like, "What the clean fuck?" Didn't have my shoes. Didn't know what was going on. Just a fucking mess. Another year, I we where was it? This one. This was when it used to be down in Boucher, and there was. I think it was actually the year Liverpool won the Champions League against Spurs. I have a feeling because it was in my Liverpool top, uh, and it was like in the stage. It was like a Red Bull stage, and it was sort of like down like a loading bay because it used to be a B and Q warehouse. It was in the like this loading bay. I remember seeing like fucking three people get stretchered out, and it was a bit fucking terrifying. And there was obviously like how it goes. Like it was obviously rumors that some cunt had fucking taken a dodgy and died or something. Everyone was freaking out. And I was in the middle of the crowd. I was doing something I probably shouldn't have been doing. Nothing malicious now. Uh, got caught out. Bouncer kicked me out. Was taking me and made me go to like they had like a route for where they kicked you out. They didn't just kick you like throw you out the front door. It was a whole big fucking thing. He brought me to like the back of the festival basically, all over this gravel. And I was wearing the skinniest jeans known to man. These fucking spray on skinny jeans from Top Man probably made me take off my shoes to search me. And like I was, in a condition I was like I can't put my shoes back on without sitting down. He searched me, didn't have anything on me. Um, and then just sort of went, and then he was like, "You still have to leave," and I was like, "Right, fair enough, mate." Uh, and he just left me there, and I was like, I could have just walked back in. I don't know why I didn't, but I was struggling to put my shoes back on. Had to sit down on the gravel, covered in fucking dirt, put my shoes back on, and then left. And I was fucking kicked out with no percentage on my phone. Had to just wait. I couldn't get a taxi, obviously, because I had no phone. Um, didn't know where my mates were, didn't know where we were going for a party after. So I just lingered about like a bad smell outside AVA, waiting to see if there was anyone I knew. Bumped into someone I knew, thankfully. Went to a party with him till I got my phone charged, and it was all okay. And don't. I was in a bit of a state last year. We'll not talk about that one now. We'll save that for another podcast when I don't have a job that I need to be worried about. Um, but yeah, there's AVA. There's my rant about AVA over. Um, I suppose I can talk about the things that I actually have written down here. Uh, Here's a trend I've been seeing on TikTok recently, and I'm actually quite a fan of it. It's a trend now that I enjoy. The trend is basically just propaganda that I'm not falling for, and it's people just list things that are popular that they're like, I don't give a fuck about that. It has no interest in me, and I've written my own list. We'll go through it, and I'll give you reasons for each one. I have the what do you call it, the sort of name of the thing that I'm not falling for. They're all pretty random. Some of them are connected, some of them aren't. We'll just see how it goes. But propaganda I'm not falling for. First one I've got here is running and high rocks, etc. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go in any more on these absolute fucking fitness freaks. Um, they are just absolute wankers, and I can't stand any of them. Keep getting adverts for this running app on my TikTok as well, and I just don't. Like, why do you need an app to tell you how to run? It's. I said this before. It's the most fucking brain dead thing ever to be like. It takes so much to be a runner. Like it is just stamina, and that is all it is. There's no technique to it. People say, "Oh, there is technique." Yeah, one foot in front of the other. You fucking moron. There's no. You've got 300 pound running shoes on. I don't think there's much technique involved in it. Just run forward, and maybe the technique is your stamina. I don't really give a fuck. I don't care. And for anyone who says, "Oh, what do you do? Well, what do you do?" I play paddle. Right here, I'm fucking putting my foot down now. I am a paddle player. Right, a few months ago, no, maybe not a few months ago, a few years ago, you wouldn't have caught me dead playing paddle. It probably didn't even exist, but it's been taken off. Big fucking fan of paddle. If you don't know what paddle is, get to know. It's the best sport in the world. It is the most enjoyable thing I've ever done. Uh, and it's basically just tennis like a glass cage or a glass box, and you can hit it off the walls. All it is, great crack. Gets the fitness levels up. So fuck you to any weird high rocks fuckers. I actually do things that are fun, not your boring weird fucking running around 8 kilometers carrying balls yeah, throwing balls at a wall and carrying big bags of fuck all for no reason. I actually enjoy myself having fun playing a game. It's like I don't mind exercising, ironically, as long as it's enjoyable. Like if there's something fun, like maybe it's an immature side of me, but I don't find going to the gym fun. What is fun about fucking lifting weights? Do you know all that? Playing football, playing paddle, swimming, shit that's actually fun and enjoyable. Not just fucking going and lifting weights. And there are people who be like, oh, it is fun. I have loads of fun lifting weights in the gym and I feel big and strong and my muscles are so big and strong. And like, fair enough if you find it fun. It's not, it's shite. I don't enjoy it. So good for you that your brain's so small that you can enjoy things like that. But I'm an intellectual. I am better than you. So I find PlayStation and films and wanking fun. So fuck you. I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Um, Propaganda I'm not falling for. Matcha and coffee in general. Matcha's probably. it's sort of on the rise now. I don't really understand what it is. You just looks like you're drinking leaves or something, and they're like, oh, it's like a healthier alternative to caffeine or to coffee. Like there's caffeine involved, and I still don't really buy the propaganda of coffee either. The first time I've tried coffee, I was like, this is shite, and they're like, oh yeah, it's an acquired taste. I don't want to acquire that taste if it's an acquired taste. Makes your breath smell, stains your teeth, makes you want to shit yourself, gives you anxiety to an extent. That's all caffeine really does. I hate these people like, oh, I can't do anything without my coffee in the morning, and you've let that happen. You know what I mean? And I understand. I'm sitting here with a vape in my hand, but I wouldn't let a vape, like not having a vape, sorry, inhibit me from doing my daily tasks where, oh, don't speak to me till I've had my coffee. Well, aren't you just a cunt? What would you have done in the fucking ancient times and didn't have coffee? You've just been a wanker all the time, would you? Why does coffee make you less of a wanker? Because I'm awake. Just sleep at night. Get a good 8 hours sleep. You won't need your coffee. Load of bollocks. And I don't understand how it's made such a fucking impact. Everyone's like, oh, let's go for a coffee. No, why would I want to do that? Then I have to go shit in a coffee shop. Not sit, shit. It runs through you. It's not nice. Let's go for, I don't know, a milkshake or something. Let's go for, and it doesn't even need to be like an unhealthy drink because coffee, I've seen the coffee some people are drinking. They're fucking, oh yeah, give me the caramelized fucking syrup of, 14 sugars, 40 million liters of milk. That couldn't be good for you. And you're being like, oh, I go for my flat white in the morning. Fuck off. I don't give a fuck about coffee. Hot drinks in general, I don't really, go for. I just don't think a liquid should be warm. I don't see the benefit. Even in the winter, like it would heat you up. No, it doesn't. It burns your mouth, and you've got a fucking shite taste in your mouth. It's just, and tea. I don't mind. Don't mind a cup of tea. Find tea more traditional. Coffee, on the other hand, maybe it's a class thing. I know that coffee used to be considered a very middle class thing. Maybe that's just my deep working class roots coming through of like fuck coffee. I never, and like people. How do you get started on it? Like why do people? I think people are obsessed with the image of them drinking coffee with their wee fucking coffee cups, walking about like they've got somewhere to be, like they are something. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got a coffee cup in my hand. I'm going to a meeting later. I don't give a fuck. See, my worst fear is someone in the office telling me to make cups of tea or coffee. I don't know how to make coffee. I can make a cup of tea, but you wouldn't like the tea I make, and I know that. That's why probably that's another reason why I don't drink them because I don't want the expectation of I'm gonna have to make someone else one. I'll fill you up a glass of water. I'll go to the shop and get you a tin of something. Fuck off asking me to make you a hot drink. And I'm also very, don't want to say shaky, but you probably, I don't know if you, I noticed in the camera the other week, you could see my legs shaking. I just do that. But I'm a pretty unstable person, mentally and physically. So if I'm walking with a cup of tea or coffee, like it's getting spilled, I'm burning my hands, you're getting a half a cup of something, it's just not worth it. So never ask me to make you a warm drink or ask me to go for a warm drink with you. You can fuck off. Uh, Propaganda I'm not falling for. Luke Combs and Zach Bryan. Oh, don't even get me started. I see people now. It's not that time of year, but it was previously. That's how time works. What the fuck are you on about? Uh, where Spotify Wrapped was about, and see the amount of people I saw was Zach Bryan and Luke Combs in their top, artists on Spotify. What are we doing? Well, who are these people? Who are these people that were coming out of the woodwork and they're just making all this money off all these music, and it's shite. Those two specifically because they are country singers, country music. Why are we pretending like country music is good? The only good country musician is going to be Johnny Cash, right? Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues, Boy Named Sue, Ring of Fire, obviously. There's more. I don't know why I'm naming Johnny Cash songs, but Zach Bryan, I'm gonna drink some whiskey under the moons and make love to my girl. Fuck off with that shit. How do you, as a 26-year-old man who works in PwC, relate to a fucking Zach Bryan song? What is that? Do you cut about in cowboy boots? No, you don't. You go to Pure Gym on the weekends, and your dad bought you a fucking A-class Merc. How do you relate to that music? You fucking moron. I just don't get it, and I feel like they just came out of nowhere. I don't even know if that's what Zach Bryan is like. I know Luke Holmes is sort of a country singer. I don't even know what their lyrics are. I'll be honest, never listened to them. I think I've heard them on the radio, and they're just shite. I couldn't name you a single song. Not a fan. Uh, I'm not falling for it. I think everyone who's doing it is just again liking things to be popular or to look like they like popular things. And that's all it is. It's the same with like Sabrina Carpenter. Can we all stop pretending like her music's good? She's got a fat arse and she's great, and let's just draw a line under it. Let's stop pretending like she's actually a good musician. Oh, I was trying to sing her song and I actually don't know the words. It's fucking espresso. I don't know. I can't remember how it goes. It's a lot of dick and balls. It's shite. Who else is there? Oh, who's that other one? Oh, it's another woman singer. Fuck, it's gonna do my head in. There's Tate McRae. Don't know who she is. Again, just draw a line on it. She's sexy, and we'll just call it there. Look at me objectifying women. What is this podcast came to? Episode 10. Let's go. Uh, there is another one though. Her name's gonna escape me. If I remember it, I'll edit it in or something. I won't. But yeah, they need to fuck off. Uh, those Nike tracksuit sets. Now I know I'm a bit of an old timer when it comes to this, but I see people going to like raves on TikTok or maybe even AVA to some extent. People going in those the Nike tracksuit sort of sets with the shorts and the jackets that match. Uh, Stop doing that. When did we stop wearing nice clothes when we were going out to places? Why did it become that you have to wear fucking gym gear? I don't understand it. They're like, oh, it's comfy. Not all fucking like. Is that the only clothes that you find that are comfortable? It just looks shite. Like you're getting on for a night out and you're in a tracksuit. I remember, see if anyone, and this is the thing. So they're going back to after parties or whatever, and they're sitting there in like tracksuits, and it's like I can remember like whenever I would have went to a party after something like that, and there was someone there in a tracksuit, they're either a drug dealer who you can't get rid of, and they're just fucking sitting there with you, or someone's mate from like fucking primary school who they bumped into that night, who's also a smick or a drug dealer that they can't get rid of because they're just sitting there for the whole night. And both of those people, you just want rid of them. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think whenever I see someone in a tracksuit at a party. What's the harm in getting dressed up, making an effort? You can wear a pair of shorts all you want, but just not tracksuit ones. Like, why? It just looks shit. It's the younger generation. I tell you what. See, and I went to a rave. You got four E's and you put on your nice pair of jeans and a nice top, and it was fucking good crack. You know what I mean? See, now they're going out in their fucking Nike tracksuits, the Nike Miller tracksuits, and they're all fucking. They all look the same. Why? See if one of your mates went out. If you two of your mates were dressed the same on a night out, you'd make fun of them for it. These fellas all fucking coordinate their outfits together. I'm wearing the blue one today, like the fucking Power Rangers, the blue one, the pink one, the yellow one, and what are we doing here? Stick on a nice T-shirt or something. And I'm getting stressed out thinking about it. It would make a grown man cry the way that people get on with it. Like I went to the Telegraph building before for Skin on Skin, I think it was, and now hear me out. I thought Telegraph building. I know it's a younger crowd, but I didn't think it was going to be so fucking young for Skin on Skin. My goodness, I've never felt like such an unk in my life. I was, don't get me wrong, I had a good time. Things, there was nothing's going to stop me from having a bloody good time. But it did make me think about like fucking. I look like a weirdo here because I've got a pair of trousers on. Do you know what I mean? Long gone are the days where a pair of cargos was what you went for to something like that. Now it's fucking tracksuits and they're like, why are the bouncers letting them in? What happened? I remember when I used to go out. My dad used to say, I think it was my dad or something, but like you used to have to wear like before I would have been going out, you used to have to wear proper shoes like in the 2000s, like not trainers. You couldn't get in the bars and trainers and all. So, how have we went from not being allowed to wear trainers, which is obviously a step too far in the wrong direction, to just wearing tracksuits? Why are the bouncers not like, no, go home and put a pair of fucking jeans on, you weirdo? I don't give a fuck if you need to be comfy. Or we're gonna go down in our pajamas. I'm comfortable in my birthday suit. Am I just gonna go in the array of bollock naked? No, but it's not how it works. Put a pair of fucking jeans on and fuck up. How about that? Um, that's that one. Uh, Again, on the topic of clothes, propaganda I'm not falling for. Men buying clothes from Zara. See, if you said to someone 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that fellas would be dressing out of Zara, they'd laugh at you. They'd say, you're talking shite. I don't know what's happened now. I don't know if it's the age where fellas my age, 26, that you get 26, you get a job in a fucking accounting firm, and you have to start wearing the most boring clothes ever. You have to start wearing fucking those polo shirts that zip up. Why do they zip up? I don't get that. They're wearing fucking knitted sweaters. Everything's beige. They're wearing fucking. Oh, it just stresses me out. And like, because it used to be, if you went in into Zara with your bird, you'd be fucking raging about it. Now the fellas want to go. They're the ones bringing their birds in, and they're saying, "Oh, here, what do you think of this new fucking knitted sweater I've got on here? What do you think of this cashmere pair of fucking jorts I'm rocking here?" And it's like, well, what are we doing? What has happened to? It's. I feel like I watched The Godfather earlier this week, and it's the bit where Vito Corleone is looking at his son Santino's body, and he goes, "Look how they massacred my boy." Great impression, by the way. That's what I feel like looking at male society now. What are we doing with these fucking your crop chinos and your fucking polo shirts with no buttons and a zip on them? What are we doing now? It's just fucking put a Carhartt t-shirt on and a pair of nice trousers. I don't give a fuck if they're jeans, chinos, cargos, fucking shorts, pajama bottoms. The trousers aren't much of the issue. It's Zara in general. It's just fucking. We're wearing all just plain beige. Everything's just fucking plain and beige. It's the Fiat 500 brigade has actually infiltrated men and they're dressing their boyfriends, and it's a crying shame. What happened to a nice Carhartt t-shirt, a Nike t-shirt, or something? Fair enough. I am wearing a plain black Uniqlo t-shirt, uh, but it's because it's comfortable and it's a great fit. Fuck you, not the same as Zara. Would never be caught dead in Zara. It just I don't know what's happened to the world. I look outside and all I see is beige fucking polo shirts, and I think this is just mental now. What are we doing? Um, more propaganda I'm not falling for. Milk that doesn't come from a cow, but also raw milk as well. I'm not falling for that. Not falling for your raw milk. There's a reason why it's pasteurized and fucking they do shit to it. It's still just milk, at the end of the day. You don't know what the pasteurization process is. I don't know what it is. I don't care. No one's ever died from a fucking a carton of green milk from the supermarket. Also, I'm not falling for the propaganda of, like, as I say, milk that doesn't come from a cow. Your oat milk, your almond milk, your I don't know what other milks there are. You can just fuck off. Lactose free milk. Just milk the cows and drink it. There's no reason to be milking nuts unless you're milking my nuts. Ew. But you know what I mean? It tastes like water. It's shite. Or they're like, oh, get the unsweetened version. Why? Why would you want that? Why is there no? I've never seen a sweetened version, mind you. I don't understand why they're all called unsweetened. I feel like the sweetened one would make so much more sense. It would be a lot nicer if you were like, I don't know, lactose intolerant or something. But at that point, just fucking grow up and get some lactose into your life. Uh, Not a fan of those. Suppose this one's related to the what do you call it, the clothes. Any haircut that isn't a skin fade is what I've written down here. That's propaganda I'm not falling for. See a lot of guys now with fucking curtains, and they're growing their hair out, and I just think maybe I'm getting left behind in the past with the skin fade, but I am I'm like the Japanese soldier who fought at the end of World War II after the war had ended. I will always get a skin fade until I am either bald or dead. It's just the cleanest haircut to get. I think it's the most, practical. You get it done every week, and it's short, it's clean. I'm seeing people now, and they're like, "Oh, here's my hair routine." Like fellas on TikTok doing, "Here's my hair routine," and they're putting fucking all this shit in their hair, and I think it's not masculine at all. And this might be toxic masculinity. I don't give a fuck it is. If it is, someone needs to say it. Let's just go back to getting a short back and sides. I don't care what you do on the top of your head, but let's just start getting a haircut. Okay, let's stop growing your hair out. It's making the rest of us look bad, to be honest. Girls are getting the idea that they want to run their hands through a man's head, and I don't have the facilities for that, and I will never will. So let's just, for the consideration of our fellow brothers, let's all just get the skin fades back in the style again. I don't remember why they went out of style. I don't know. I didn't get the memo. I don't know. Oh, hey, fellas, by the way, skin fades are out. Why? I thought everyone was pretty locked in, that they were like, this is probably the best haircut we've had. And they had skin fades. You go back to feudal Japan, they were rocking the skin fade. It wasn't even a skin fade. It was just fucking, they just cut their hair right around the top and had, like, I don't know, wee fucking ponytails or whatever. They were rocking with it. Why are we not rocking with it anymore? Why are we going for fucking curtains and, oh, is a low taper fade? What is that? Just fucking, it must. I don't know who we're blaming for this one. It just needs to fucking get wound up. Just go back to cutting your hair. I don't know what else I'm trying to say about it. Um, Suppose this is also related to Zara. Uh, Propaganda I'm not falling for. Ibiza. This one speaks for itself, but also Tech House. I'm not falling for that. It all sounds the same, and I know I do like techno music, which you could argue sounds the same. It doesn't. Um, Tech house, it all looks shite. Ibiza looks fucking shite. I saw a video earlier on, €80 for five chicken tenders and a portion of chips at a nightclub in Ibiza. What are we doing there? Where is the justification for charging these prices? And why are people so happy to go over and pay for it? I don't know what the is it a status thing? Do people like to go to be like, oh, I went to Ibiza, so it looks like I can afford Ibiza, like going to Ocean Beach and buying a big fucking bottle of something. I don't, I don't get the appeal. All the music looks shite. Wayne Lineker's a creepy bastard. Arne Slot went, and he can do what he wants. He won the Premier League with Liverpool in his first season, so I have no qualms with that. All the tunes look shite though. Fuck DC-10, fuck Amnesia, fuck I don't know, Destino, fuck your bald wanker Marco Corolla. All his tunes look shite that he plays. I just fuck them. I like Patrick Toppin. He's turned a leaf. He's went away from Tech House and he's went into more, I don't know what you would call it, but it's a lot more sort of bouncy house kind of vibes. It's good. It's good. Fuck Ibiza. It's full of wankers as well. Full of just Burberry, short wearing, Palm Angels, fucking Louis Vuitton shoes. Not Louis Vuitton shoes. Probably is Louis Vuitton shoes. What do you call those shoes with the fucking spikes on them? Valentinos. Just looks like a load of dick and balls. D squared t shirts and all. Just looks like the biggest pile of shite ever. Not and you look at like Kevin and Perry go large when they went to Ibiza in the 90s and it was all trance. That looks like it would be a good time. I remember reading Limmy's book, the comedian Limmy from Limmy Show. Um, David Limmy, or there's another fucking description for him. And he was talking about how when he was like in his 40s or something, or maybe his 30s, he was like he was an alcoholic, so he stopped drinking. Um, he went to Ibiza just for one last rattle at it, took a load of E's and was like a trance music on. Said it was the best time ever. What happened to that? Now it's fucking I don't want to call them posers, but it's like people going just to have the image of being like, oh, Ibiza, spending fucking 6 grand on a holiday to listen to shite tunes with fucking a load of other cunts about you. It just looks unappealing to me, and I won't be falling for it. Uh, Not drinking. This one is the final one. Actually, no, it's not. There's one more. Not drinking is probably gone that I'm not falling for. One of my mates wrote into our group chat the other day saying, "Oh, fucking right, haven't drank in 6 weeks here." Everyone's sitting going, "Well done, well done." What are we congratulating someone for this for? He's not an alcoholic. It's pretty easy to go off a drink for 6 weeks. Why would you though? Why would you not want to have good crack for 6 weeks? All that says to me is I've done fuck all for 6 weeks apart from better myself and look out for my health. So who gives a fuck? You can do that and drink at the same time. We shouldn't stop. We should stop celebrating people not drinking. Like people being like, oh, you hear people being like, oh, I hate how drinking culture is just so like common in the UK and things like that. Like drinking culture isn't a thing. Drinking is part of culture. Go back thousands of years. They're in taverns. I think maybe not taverns, but would it be? No, it wouldn't be. 500 years, fuck it, in taverns, drinking mead, playing dice. It's a part of culture. Why are we pretending like it's a bad thing? Why, there's obviously health risks involved if you're an alcoholic or thing. Oh, fair enough. I understand that. But if you don't have a problem with drinking and you're going off a drink for 6 weeks, why? You're actually taking away part of your identity. You're taking away part of your cultural heritage by not drinking, and it's a crying shame, as I say. You're there's just no benefit to it. The health benefits. I don't give a fuck. I am interested in good crack benefits. I'm interested in having a fucking good time with my mates. I just think we should stop being like, oh, praising people for not drinking. I think it should be the opposite. I think we should start shaming people for not drinking. Look at them in disgust and say, "Well, what have you been doing? Then you dick. What have you got up to? Oh, you went to the gym 6 weeks in a row. Who gives a fuck? Drink some fucking pints and shut up. They should start treating people like that. Maybe we could have a bit more crack. And people complain about the nightlife in Belfast. But I suppose part of it is the price of pints and things like that. But it's a different topic. This is the problem. I would love to see the downturn in people going out drinking, like the percentage, the statistics involved in people, not going out and drinking as much as they did in, I don't know, say like the 2000 to 2010s. And I think part of it would be the rise in social media would be the cause of it because you have all these dicks, uh, you know, showing off their life, like they're like, oh look, I don't drink and I'm so successful and wealthy. Other people then sort of uh, relate not drinking to a successful life, and it's not. I think Donald Trump doesn't drink famously. Well done, he doesn't drink, but he rapes people. So there's that fucking out of the water. Uh, I think the results would be interesting because I think a lot of people. Well, I suppose the prices and things like that would be part of the reason why people can't afford to drink and things like that these days. But I do think the main reason would be the rise of social media and this fucking lifestyle of. And this is another point I was going to make. Propaganda I'm not falling for, and it's a we might alienate some of my viewers here because it's like a more newer generation sort of term you hear nowadays. The clean girl aesthetic. I fuck that like completely. It's kind of like the female equivalent of your mate not drinking, and it's like I've written down here I asked ChatGPT what the characteristics are of it. Have a sort of understanding, but I wanted to get confirmation. It's a minimal makeup, slick black hair, glowy skin. That's like the appearance wise of it. Very beige colors, very Zara fucking like wardrobe vibes to it, and then that's just like the appearance to it. But the actual like physical things, it's like going for walks and fucking eating your salmon and being really healthy and born and just being a born bastard. Fuck the king girl aesthetic. Give me big stinking hoors. That's what I want. Big fucking caked and make not caked and makeup. Big eyelashes, big fake nails, fake tan. Fucking just goes out, loves it, has a good time with her mates. That's the kind of the things we want to see. I don't give a fuck if you're in bed at 9:30 at night, reading your self help journal, writing down your goals and aspirations. I want a crazy bitch. I want a girl who'll fucking take hook off her fake nails or something. Give me someone. Joey Diaz said it before. You need to have an edge. You can't not have an edge. If you don't have like a bit of something about you, you're born. What's the point of living? I feel like the clean girl aesthetic. That's something that takes away your edge. You have no edge if you're a clean girl. You're fucking with your matching your blended greens, taking your supplements, and your fucking your vision board. Fuck that completely. Give me a girl who rots in bed for 12 hours on a Sunday and doesn't speak to anyone. Give me a girl who can drink pints. It's just fucking these are the things that should be celebrated, not this propaganda of you need to be clean and boring and well clean. I don't mean clean as in like hygienic. Obviously, be hygienic, but like if you know what the clean girl aesthetic is, you know what I'm talking about. There's no need for me to explain it, but you know what I mean. Um, and that's Jay Slater. I've written down Jay Slater. That's propaganda I'm not falling for. Pretty quick one. Why are we looking for what answers are we looking for here? The guy was wiped out and fell down a cliff. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? And we'll probably end the podcast there. I realize I've been going on for 57 minutes here. Um, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think about the new setup. If you enjoyed the Google, I'll maybe look at getting some videos or something to play next time. Maybe get some TikToks I can react to. I don't know. We'll become a YouTuber. What's up, TikTok? I'm gonna react to some of your favorite videos. Um, but yeah, let me know in the comments. No one ever comments. Please give me some feedback. Stop telling me in person, for fuck's sake. I don't want to talk about my podcast in person because I'm an awkward guy. Just I don't know. Talk about it in the comments amongst yourselves, please. Um, plug a few things here. Uh, got asked to do a gig for a football team in Belfast in July here. No big deal, but I don't know if I can announce it yet, so I'll probably not. But yeah, it'll be in July, so I'll let you know when the tickets are out for it. If they sell tickets to the public, I don't know if they will. Um, as always, Crack House Comedy. It's currently the 31st of May, so Crack House is exactly 13 days away here, folks. Please, please, please buy tickets, or it's going to be a fucking not a white boy summer for me. It's going to be a dark and depressing summer. It's going to be a Tony Soprano summer. A lot of cold cuts and panic attacks. Tickets are in my bio. I actually have a link tree now. I look like an OnlyFans girl. If you go onto my Instagram bio on my comedy page, I have a link tree and you can get tickets for the Friday the 13th in the Duns. Please come down. It'll be a gig. Also, in the Linktree bio, you'll be able to get tickets for Wafflers, the brand new live podcast. I don't know if I explained it very well the other week. I was too busy stressing about the syncing up. Now that it's announced and you've seen everything about it, uh, yeah, it's a live podcast where We'll all read out our stories. They're going to be related to summertime. That's the announcement as well. The stories will be related to summertime. Each of the five comedians will all read out, or will all submit stories to Daniel. Daniel will read out a few stories. Um, and if it's our story, you have to convince everyone else it's not your story. If it isn't your story, you have to guess whose story it is. There'll be points, there'll be prizes, there'll be pints, there'll be penises. I don't know. Well, there'll be six penises on stage. Hopefully, um, hopefully some penises in the audience. Hopefully some vaginas in the audience. It'll be a good time. Please get tickets for it. As I say, they're in the link tree in my bio. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Kitchen Talk, and I'll see you for episode 11. Thank you very much.